I want to introduce you to Dave. He's 62, a former high school principal in Ohio. He has $1 million in his 401,000. It's all in growth ETFs, and he has a pension from the state teachers system that pays him $1,800 a month, not inflation adjusted. He's been following the same advice he's heard for 30 years. Keep growing, you can't save enough, stay in the market. He's about to make a $40,000 mistake in the first year of his retirement, and he won't even see it coming. Here's how it happens. In his first year of retirement, the market drops 20%. Dave needs $50,000 to live on. His pension only covers about $21,600 of that, so he has to pull the rest from his portfolio. But his portfolio just dropped, so he sells $50,000 worth of growth ETFs at a loss, locking in roughly $10,000 he'll never get back. That's the obvious part. The part most people miss is what comes next. Every dollar he sells at a loss is a dollar that won't be there when the market recovers. Over 10 years, that kind of sell-low cycle can drain his portfolio by more than 30% compared to someone with the exact same returns who just had a plan that matched his income. This isn't bad luck. This is what happens when you follow advice built for someone with a full pension, and yours only covers a quarter of your expenses. The good news, Dave doesn't need a different portfolio. He needs a different structure. Same $1 million, same $1,800 pension. But if he changes when and how he withdraws his money, he can add over $200,000 in spending power across his retirement. Let me show you how. Let's talk about the trap first, because unless you see exactly why it works the way it does, the solution won't stick. The trap is called sequence of returns risk. It sounds technical, but the concept is simple. It's not your average return over 30 years that determines whether you run out of money. It's the order in which those returns arrive. Specifically, a bad year at the beginning of retirement is far more damaging than the same bad year later. Because when you're pulling money out, a down market forces you to sell more shares to cover the same dollar amount. And those shares are gone forever. Here's the math. Take a $1 million portfolio with a $50,000 annual withdrawal and an average 8% return. If the market drops 20% in year one, your portfolio hits about $530,000 by year 10. If that same 20% drop happens in year 10 instead, your portfolio is at about $915,000. Same average return, same withdrawal rate, same person. The only difference is timing. That's a $385,000 swing, not because of anything Dave did wrong, but because of when the market decided to drop. That number is worth pausing on. $385,000, because of timing alone. So why does having a pension change this? Most people think of a pension as just another income stream. It's actually much more specific than that. A pension, even a small one, acts as an anchor. It covers your baseline expenses so you don't have to sell growth assets when the market is down. It gives you options in the worst possible moment. Here's where the bridge comes in. The bridge period is roughly ages 62 to 70, the years between when many people retire and when Social Security starts at full value. During this window, your taxable income is unusually low. Your pension might generate $21,600 a year. That leaves a lot of room in the 12% federal tax bracket before you hit the ceiling. Here's the opportunity most people walk right past. If you convert $30,000 of your traditional IRA to a Roth IRA each year during those 8 years, you pay taxes at the 12% bracket instead of the 22% or higher bracket You'll be in at age 73, when required minimum distributions force you to take money out whether you want to or not. Over 8 years, that's roughly $30,000 in taxes saved, compared to doing those same conversions later. Plus, you permanently remove that money from RMD calculations. That's $30,000 more you keep, and a Roth balance that grows tax-free for the rest of your life. But the bridge only works if you protect your portfolio from sequence risks during the same window. That's what the next section is about. Most retirement planning advice is written for one of two people: someone with no pension and all savings, or someone with a generous pension that covers most of their expenses. The person in the middle, solid savings, a smaller pension, not quite enough to live on alone, gets advice that doesn't quite fit either situation. I'll be honest. When I first started working through this for my own parents, I thought the standard advice was fine. The conventional thinking was to spend from taxable accounts first. Leave the IRA alone. Keep growing. We ran projections assuming a $3,000 a month pension. After modeling a 30% market drop, the numbers showed they'd run out of money by their early 80s. That's when it became obvious. The standard advice was a tax strategy, not a safety strategy. It was designed to minimize your tax bill, not to protect your income in the worst-case scenario. Those are two different goals. So what does a structure look like that handles both? Here's the framework. I call it the pension plus bucket approach, and it has 3 parts. The first part is the anchor. Your monthly pension check covers your essential, non-negotiable spending: food, utilities, housing. You don't touch your portfolio for these expenses under any circumstances. Your pension becomes the floor, not just another source of income. The second part is the safety net. Before you retire, you pre-set aside roughly 5 years of discretionary spending: travel, hobbies, home repairs, in safe, liquid assets. Think money market funds or short-term bonds. This is your buffer. When the market drops, this is where you live. You don't touch your growth portfolio. You don't sell anything at a loss. You just draw from this account until the market recovers. The third part is the growth engine. The remainder of your portfolio stays invested in growth assets, like an S&P 500 index fund. But the key is, you never sell from it when the market is down. You only sell from it when the market is up, to refill your safety net. That means you're always selling high and letting the rest compound. Here's what this structure actually does for the numbers. A $2,500 a month pension combined with a properly structured safety net can raise a $1 million portfolio's probability of lasting 30 years from around 72% to approximately 94%. That's the difference between a plan that works most of the time and one that works almost always. Financial planning simulations consistently show this outcome when guaranteed income anchors the floor and a cash buffer absorbs sequence risk. And because your growth assets are never touched during down markets, they're free to recover and compound fully when the market rebounds. The most important part of this framework isn't the bucket labels. It's what it lets you do with your taxes in the gap between retirement and age 70. That window is the most valuable tax planning opportunity most people with a small pension and a $1 million portfolio will ever have. If you ignore it, you hand over 6 figures to the IRS that didn't need to go there. There's a specific window in retirement that most people don't even realize exists. It opens the day you stop working, or the day your pension starts, and it closes at age 70, when Social Security hits its maximum value, and required minimum distributions start knocking at the door at 73. During those years, depending on the size of your pension, You may be in the lowest federal tax bracket of your adult life. If your pension generates $21,600 a year and you're married filing jointly, you can have up to $94,300 in taxable income before you leave the 12% bracket in 2026. That's a massive amount of room. Delaying Social Security to age 70 is already one of the best decisions most people near retirement can make. The Social Security Administration confirms that your monthly benefit increases by roughly 8% for every year you delay past your full retirement age. From age 62 to age 70, that's a roughly 76% increase in your permanent monthly check. That's a lot, but most people don't think about what to do with the years in between. Those are the years you can voluntarily pay taxes at 12% to avoid paying them at 22% or higher in your 70s. Let me show you the two paths side by side. If you do nothing, if you keep everything in your traditional IRA, skip Roth conversions, and let the account grow, you'll hit age 73 with a large IRA that generates mandatory withdrawals. Those RMDs push your taxable income up. You move into the 22% bracket or higher. And if your income is high enough, RMA kicks in. Those are the Medicare surcharges that add hundreds of dollars per month to your Part B and Part D premiums. Over 20 years of retirement, that combination can cost you close to $200,000 in additional taxes and healthcare costs. Now look at the other path. You use your pension to cover basic living expenses from ages 62 to 70. Each year, you convert $30,000 from your traditional IRA to a Roth IRA, paying 12% on it. Over 8 years, that's $240,000, moved into a Roth account that grows tax-free forever. Your RMDs at age 73 are smaller. Your RMA exposure drops. Your heirs receive a tax-free inheritance. You save over $100,000 in taxes and surcharges, and you did it without earning a single extra dollar. People who retired in 2008 and had this structure in place did something remarkable. They used their pension income to cover expenses while the market was down, converted IRA dollars at deflated values into Roth accounts at rock-bottom prices, and watched that Roth money recover and compound tax-free. The market downturn became a buying opportunity precisely because they weren't forced to sell anything. The people without this structure sold low and never fully recovered. As of June 2026, the market is near all-time highs. Your IRA balance may be the largest it's ever been. That's good, but it also means the tax bill attached to it is the largest it's ever been. The window to act is open right now. What you do in the next few years will determine whether that tax bill grows or shrinks. Here's the scenario that breaks most plans before they even get started. You retire at 60 with $1 million saved and a $20,000 a year pension. That's a reasonable setup. The problem is that Medicare doesn't start until age 65. So for 5 years, you need to buy health insurance on your own. In 2026, a couple in their early 60s on the ACA marketplace is looking at roughly $2,000 a month for a silver plan with moderate subsidies, or over $3,000 a month without them. Over 5 years, we're talking about $120,000 to $180,000 in premiums alone, before deductibles and out-of-pocket costs. That number has a way of changing every retirement plan it touches. But here's the part that actually breaks things. To qualify for ACA subsidies, your income needs to stay below certain thresholds based on your modified adjusted gross income. If you're also doing Roth conversions to take advantage of the bridge window we talked about, converting $30,000 a year, That $30,000 counts as income. It can push you over the subsidy cliff. And when that happens, your healthcare costs can jump from $24,000 a year to $36,000 a year. That's an extra $60,000 over 5 years. The same move that saves you $30,000 in taxes costs you $60,000 in healthcare. The math doesn't work anymore. So the fix is sequencing. In the first 5 years of retirement, ages 60 to 65, you use your pension to cover healthcare premiums and keep your income low. You do not do Roth conversions during this window. You spend from taxable accounts instead, since capital gains at lower income levels are often taxed at 0%. Your Ma-J stays controlled. Your subsidies stay intact. You save the $60,000. Then, from ages 65 to 70, after Medicare begins, you shift into full conversion mode. Your income floor is covered by the pension. Medicare handles health care. Your tax bracket is predictable. Now the Roth conversion plan runs cleanly, without the subsidy problem disrupting it. This is sequencing, not just planning. The right move in the wrong year still costs you money. Right now, in June 2026, the market is near all-time highs. Your IRA is probably bigger than it's ever been. Most people look at that and think, "Good, I'll wait for a drop before doing anything." That's the trap. Waiting for the market to drop before acting on Roth conversions is exactly backwards. The lower your portfolio value, the less you can convert before triggering a higher bracket. The lower conversion window is open right now, not later. Here are the 3 concrete moves. The first lever is the refill. In strong market years like this one, sell 1 to 2 years of growth assets to top up your safety net. You're selling high. That's the opposite of what most retirees do. Most people sell when they're scared, which means selling low. If you commit to refilling only during good years, you lock in gains and buy yourself time to let the rest compound. A simple guideline: roughly 5% of your total portfolio every 2 years when markets are up. The second lever is the conversion. Target the 12% federal tax bracket each year between now and age 70. In 2026, for married filing jointly, that bracket tops out at $94,300 in taxable income. If your pension generates $21,600 and you have no other income, you can convert roughly $72,000 of traditional IRA money into a Roth IRA before crossing into the 22% bracket. Most people don't convert that aggressively, and that's fine. Even $25,000 to $30,000 a year over 8 years adds up to a meaningful, permanent reduction in your future tax burden. The third lever is the guardrail. If your portfolio drops 20% or more from its recent peak, you pause all Roth conversions. You stop drawing from growth assets entirely. You live on the pension and the safety net until the market recovers. This is not a rule about predicting the market. It's a rule about protecting what you've already built. You define it in advance, write it down, and you don't deviate from it because things feel scary. For married couples, the higher earner delays Social Security to age 70. The lower earner claims at their full retirement age, which for most people is 67. Your pension bridges the income gap for the lower earner's years. This coordination maximizes the lifetime value of your Social Security benefit and protects the surviving spouse. If you have a pension and $1 million in savings, and you want to stop following advice that was built for a different situation, subscribe. I'm building a series specifically for people with this setup. A pension that covers part of the expenses, not all of them. And the next video goes deeper into the Social Security coordination piece. Subscribe so you don't miss it. And let me know in the comments, what's the one part of retirement you're most worried about right now? Taxes, healthcare, or just whether the money lasts? I read everyone. Let's bring it back. We started with Dave's $40,000 mistake, a solid plan that broke because the math assumed a pension that could carry his full expenses when it couldn't. We looked at the hidden cost of sequence of returns risk and what that $385,000 timing difference actually means in practice. We built the framework, the anchor, the safety net, the growth engine. We ran the healthcare stress test, and we walked through the 3 levers. Refill in good years, convert in the tax window, guardrail when markets drop. You have 2 powerful assets, a pension and a portfolio. The standard advice treats them as one pile of money. The right approach treats them as 2 separate tools that work together in a specific order. Use them right, and you don't just make the money last. You keep more of it, pay less in taxes, and leave something meaningful behind. Subscribe to the channel for more on this. And click the video on screen now to see how to get the most out of your Social Security when you also have a pension. I'll see you there.